my name is Saintilien. I wrestle at Freedom High School in Tampa, Florida, and I'm just here to tell everybody about how God helped me overcome a lot of obstacles this year, and how I almost didn't have a wrestling season, but through my faith in God, I finished it out pretty good. Well, I guess I'll just start from the beginning. And I wrestled a lot this summer. I was getting pretty good, I could say. I was getting pretty good. I wrestled a lot. Wrestling was starting to become natural to me. I had high hopes for this season, high hopes for all the tournaments I was going to be in, how I was going to win every match, how I was going to go undefeated this year and just have a blowout year, until I blew out my knee right before the season even started, tore my ACL. It was looking pretty grim, I'm not gonna lie. I felt pretty down, I felt angry, but I didn't know who to be upset at. I just felt like all the work I put just went to waste. But a lot of people were telling me it was over. Chris, you're done. Teachers, assistant principals at my school, wrestlers, my friends, coaches were just telling me it was done. It was over, don't even try it, just get the surgery. But I knew that I put too much work in to just give up like that, and to just give up on what I love so much like that. I knew I had to give it another shot. If I didn't, I don't think I would have been the same person right now. So I went to rehab. Even the therapists were telling me the same thing, but I didn't listen to them. I rehabbed my knee. I got my range of motion back. I got back into the room about a month later. It was a pretty bumpy start. My knee was sliding everywhere, turning everywhere. I was screaming in every practice. It hurt badly. People were just looking down every time that happened. Everybody thought it was over for me. But I just kept going. I kept going. I practiced all over spring break. Made my return at Springstead tournament after missing 6 weeks of wrestling. The Springstead tournament didn't go too well either. I lost to some people that they were good wrestlers, but I felt like I could have done better against. 2 weeks later, at the Polito tournament, I took fourth there. It was still pretty tough because, I was cutting a lot of weight on top of this knee sliding everywhere. It was a rough time. I took fourth at Polito. It was alright. That was alright, I guess. The next week I had the county tournament. I took third there. It was an alright tournament again. The next week I had districts. I won districts pretty handily. I liked that tournament. I wrestled pretty lights out that tournament. I had regionals the next week. I wrestled pretty good there too. I took second, and probably a lot of people say the toughest region in Florida, or one of the toughest regions in Florida. Then we had state the next week. This is what I've been working for all summer, all 4 years, came down to this tournament. This is what I've been putting it on. And I had a pretty good first day. I made it to the semis. I beat a returning state placer in the quarters to make it to the semis, so that made me pretty happy. Then in the semis, I kind of choked. I didn't wrestle. I gave the kid too much credit. He's a good wrestler, but I know I could have wrestled better than that. Next match, same thing. I was just cold. I ended up taking fifth. Not as high as I wanted to, but I'm just here to tell everybody that I wouldn't have even had a season if it wasn't for God and my faith in God. That's why every time I stepped out on the mat, I got on my knee and gave him thanks for just letting me wrestle. A lot of people thought it was a gimmick getting on my knee, but I'm just here to tell y'all that it wasn't a gimmick. God really gave me a year And he kept his promise. I asked him to place and stay every night before I went to bed, and I did. So I'm just here to tell y'all that faith can take you a pretty long way.